Right, here we are, episode 2 of the CHC podcast. We tried to get Ewan on first, but we had to get the Olympians, give him a turn. But I'm sure the CHC people want to see Ewan more than the Olympians. So,
Don't know about that.
Pretty much, we'll start off, debut for the club. Now we'll go, not for the first. Who'd you start playing for?
Started with playing for the 6th. Willie Marlin phoned me on a Wednesday or Thursday night to the house phone, obviously. Probably used the phone book to find out my number and everything, old school. And Willie Marlin asked me could I play Friday night away to some very cold, dark place that obviously nobody else wanted to go to.
You said there as you phoned the house, Les was telling me the other week that Tumtai, we're going to do a segment like back in the day. We didn't have like the auto pass back in the day. Yeah. And Tumtai was saying that back in the day he used to have to go down to the phone box and ring and used to find out that way. That's funny actually, the ring the house phone, that just brought that back.
Oh, right.
So how long did you stay at Sixes for then? Or were you moved up pretty quick?
No, I probably stayed there a good season, probably season and a half.
Found your feet.
Found my feet, you know. No, it was great. Like playing with, as I say, like Willie Marlin and a boy Barry Lennox. He used to play. Yeah. He was a good centre midfielder, and I was good. Like just a real good grounding and what senior hockey was all about, and all the stories and whatnot that goes with it. But I probably did have a good season there, and then I think I went up to the 5s, and then had half a season there, and then went up to the 4s and played a bit, then 3s and whatever. So did the old school way.
That's what I was going to say, the old school way. Now you pretty much you go to the 2s and the 1s, or sometimes you even go straight to the 1s.
Sometimes
I think that pretty much started off from junior Sloan.
That's it. Well, fair, good man to do it. Like.
Yeah, I got lucky. I started on the 5s only because Les was captain, so he got me up there. Otherwise, I reckon I would have been low.
I've actually played a season. I was thinking about it earlier on, and I was thinking I played a season for the 3s, and it was Collie Turk, Ian Miller, Ryan Turk, David Barnes. David Barnes was actually the captain, and I was trying to think, you know, like what was probably my favourite, the year when you learn the most about hockey, and maybe didn't learn much about hockey, but my days.
Hey, what'd you learn? That wasn't hockey.
It wasn't hockey. Collie Turk, he's a wee bit of his finger missing, you know. Boy stick tackled him, and the umpire, you know, because they always get stick tackled, you know, he's straight away appealing as the boys did, and he appealed and he got hit in the finger, and he went, "Oh, that's really sore," and the umpire saw it and went, "Oh my God, he's lost his finger." Funniest thing I've ever seen happen on a hockey pitch, and Colin just turned around and as when he could, "You stupid fool," you know, like I lost it 20 years ago or whatever. That was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
But that's pretty much where you say you learnt your hockey. It is where you learn some valuable things about hockey. Like I remember starting the 5s, going down playing Cliftonville. I remember going in the wrong side, and straight away knowing, right, you don't do that.
Aye, you learn quick in those
Yeah,
situations.
you learn sort of the good habits of what not to do, not to get hurt.
Definitely. There was a boy at Bangor, and they used to just tell the stories the whole way. Cookstown to Bangor, an hour and 20 minutes of just hearing about this boy. You know, he'd kill you. Like I was 15, I'd petrified. He probably didn't play hockey anymore. He's probably on the golf course. Everybody from Bangor, I was petrified of him. Like that could be him. And then some other fella from like Saintfield or something.
Yeah.
You know, I think his name was Norman or something.
Yeah, Stormin Norman. That's what I was about to say. That was one of my first games. I think whole way down. I don't even think Les allowed me to play that game. I think I had to go on the bench, but they talked about Stormin Norman, and he goes for your fingers, and it's like a kid's nightmare.
You get out and all you can hear is the Jaws theme tune. Where is he? He's behind.
Brilliant.
Bad times. But I played for the 3s, and then that was the years, you know, and the 3s and the 2s are in the same.
Yeah, they were great matches.
Great matches. So I remember playing centre midfield against Marty Sloan. Willard. Well, I think Willard was actually maybe the captain of the 3s at that stage. He was umpiring. He was non-playing captain, and I don't think I tackled Marty Sloan. I don't think I've ever tackled Marty Sloan, but I don't think I got near the ball once. I think I just hit his stick and Willard play on, you know, because obviously he wanted his team to win, obviously, and I probably should apologise to Marty. I mean, he had enough sticks to get him through, but you know, flip me, it was just horrendous. Brilliant but
those games are brilliant. They were the crunch games. I remember even a few seasons ago watching 4v3s and 2v. That's brilliant. I loved them.
I actually think I umpired a 4v3s or 5.
Yeah.
Oh jeepers! You couldn't handle. I couldn't handle. I don't think I'll ever umpire for the club again. The abuse. Rightly so.
I wonder is it the same for the other clubs? Is it Garvey and Bam 4v3, or is it just Cookstown where it's just so hyped up and tensions just go?
I remember you and Cookie doing the pundits.
I remember that as well.
And it was just bigging it up, and it was about 2 weeks before the
Sky
game.
Sports all week, everyone getting ready.
Very funny.
So then, one's debut.
One's debut was a glamorous affair in the CHC tournament.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably one of those seasons that I played, but I'm still calling it my debut. I was playing for maybe the threes, and obviously CHC tournament didn't have a player. So Godfrey Irwin playing left back first. Had missed all the pre-season and had a fun. Looked like he had a fun summer. Nigel De Cruz first game. I'm assuming first game with Cookstown or whatever. He was on the bench beside me. Fergie Cosgrove was the coach.
Yeah.
And a good fun game. I got on for about 3-4 minutes. Michael Cunningham, who was playing at the time, he was they were my next door neighbours growing up, Peter and Michael, and Michael he was not impressed with my standard of hockey, let me tell you, and he let me know in no uncertain terms that I was definitely there was room for improvement. So I thought I was stepping up, this was it, I was the big dog then, and he took me, to say I was taken down a peg or two early doors was, but sure, he was right, it was terrible. So. And
then when did you actually cement your place in the team?
Probably properly when I was about 17, probably, and I feel that 17 or 18 actually, when I started to be, I was up at training, and I had the likes of Philly Barber, and I was playing left back, I was left back, he was left midfield, and Peter Cunningham was left wing. So, again, you learn pretty quick, it's a sink or swim sort of a game there.
And we talked about in the last podcast, Junior was saying you want to play in midfield, and it was Thomas at that time where he was kind of looking that position. I remember when I came on to the first, it was Stevie Cuddy, he was at left wing. I was thinking, right, I want to get in there. I was hunting his position. Do you remember who you were after? What position do you...
No, because I was actually a midfielder until I considered myself a midfielder until probably I was about 18. So I was playing everywhere. Like I think in one of the seasons I remember being away at Garvey, and I was played when we were away at Garvey, so old Blairis, and I played basically in that game that finished it. I played every position on the pitch in that season. So that was, that sort of ticked all the boxes. So I actually remember that was the state. I was going to mark Raphael. And that didn't last too long because I could barely see him, let alone catch him, because he was so good. And I think then I got moved from there to somewhere where I couldn't do any damage, something like a right winger, left winger, whatever. And then from there I got taken off because obviously I was doing enough damage for it. So I didn't really have anybody because I didn't have anything. Like I didn't have a position as far as I was concerned. I was a midfielder, but nobody else thought that.
Nobody thought. And then when I came onto the squad, it was then that defence of Collie D right back, Ewan Swede and Blacko left back. Like that has to be the best defence that Cookstown have had. It has to be. There was the year I think we went the lowest goals conceded in the league for a couple of years. Like that back four was just.
It was good, and then you had people like Bestie who was pushing everybody. So you never had you didn't have a chance where you could just be like,
you weren't safe.
Be casual about this. And I remember at Bestie's, I don't know if it was his debut, but it was the time he came on and played, and I don't know if something happened anyway, and he got on and he played, the whole game away at Annandale, and they were unreal at that stage. And I just remember thinking, oh, nightmare. Like already I was like, oh, get the calendar out, these are the days are numbered here. Like he was unreal. Collie D, what a talent. Just class. And then, obviously Blackie at that stage, Irish international signing, and he was just like he was a cut above, and then Swede, like, never probably have thanked him enough, because every time you made a mistake, he let you know you made a mistake, no two ways about it, but there was one mistake made, and then the person was, nothing happened after that. You know, he get past one of us.
Yeah, he covered a lot there now.
And the man was either in hospital or, you know, because geez, what a talent he was.
But I think Swede, he was just so influential to that time of success. Like, Swede just controlled the play. He slowed it down if it needed to be slowed down. He was able to get the ball moving, get it going quick. There's times he would step up. Swede's skills were. Do you remember the short corner? He used to just beat the first two runners. His hands were so quick.
And it was that time, you know, you have to make the ball move a yard before you could throw an aerial.
That's right.
And I remember just being in front of him so many times, just thinking, I'm gonna die here. Like, just the ball out a yard, stopped, and then Swede would flick this thing. And then once he flicked it, you know, you hoped he flicked it, because if he didn't flick it, there was a man coming in. I was down, you know, nearly on all fours. And next thing, there's a man coming in to try and charge it down, and he was jumping. So if Swede beat him, he was just jumping, and I was the only thing he was landing on. You know, back then I probably had better reflexes, so I could get out of the way of it. But now Swede's actually a guy from Ulster. I don't know if I can say this, but I'll say it anyway. Swati sent an email, like, and he still says, you know, under 14, under 15, under 16, you know, Swede was as good a talent as there was, like, and you can see why, because obviously at the time he wasn't, you know, in the prime of his physique, you know, and he was just outstanding to have there. And obviously when you put Collie D on the right, who was just class, Blackie, and then I was just there probably, you know, because I think Godfrey probably had a couple injuries at those stages, and bad back and whatever, so I was able to be there just to get in the way of boys and slow them down, let Swede line them up, basically. But like, as I say, like, there was Bestie and Timmy Smith, obviously. He was playing a bit and stuff, you know, even playing at defence and
Godfrey in there as well when he came back. Godfrey, I remember even having to do a few stints in midfield coming in, so there was always competition for places. But I think there was the crop of us young boys came through. There was about maybe 10 or 11 of us came through at that very quick period of time. That there was pretty massive for competition for places. You were always trying to get play. At that time, you didn't even know if you were going to make the match, the 16 squad. I remember making it 1 week, and then the following week I'm not in it, and then back in, and like I was up and down like a yo-yo.
Hard for you boys as well. That, like, 'cause you never get yourself. You feel like, especially when you're that age, you can't probably see it, but you never feel like you're getting yourself embedded in or whatever. And then hard for the coaches, because there's probably older boys, you know, and I know how they feel, you know, who are not deserving of it, but maybe they're not the right guys to have there. And you know, it's not easy. Geez, I wouldn't like to be in their position either, but I like those boys who were coming through. Like, I remember just like being in awe, even when you guys were all playing twos. You know, you had basically all you guys playing, and then you had Ken Crooks and Marty Sloan, and Foo. And Foo, obviously.
And it was just those three, and then just a bunch of us kids, and it was just
like, it's unreal. Like, when you think like that crop of boys that came through all within 2-3 years of each other, like, it was class. It just shows what the club can do, like what the school and the club joint.
But I think that was the success we had at school level. I think that stemmed from that crop of players coming through and playing twos and ones. The training we got with the ones was such a high intensity that when we brought that into a Saturday morning school game, like, we were head and shoulders above other teams. Because I was talking to Slim about the other night in that podcast, but they're saying the intensity of the twos, of the ones training, it was insane. And I was up with Swede the other week, getting sorted. He was pretty much saying that he seen as the players that he was training against on that Monday and Thursday night, he wasn't going to come up against any better on the Saturday. So that's the way he seen was. And then I was like, oh, well, that's right. Like, I was coming up against the back four that I named there that was the best in the league, so I wasn't too worried about coming up against an hour back four on Saturday.
If you were competitive against that, that's a fair point.
And training, it was just so intense. But pretty much there's one game for Cookstown. When somebody says Ewan Butler Cookstown first, there's one game stands out. Do you know what it is?
It wasn't that game against Banbridge the other week, I'll tell you that for free.
You're lucky I didn't see that. I would have had it all over the place.
I should probably apologise to a few people for that one. That was not pretty.
Do you know what game I'm going to name?
Probably the Senior Cup, the semi-final, I would say.
100%. I was saying our night as well in that podcast, that was that was the game I went into actually feeling a wee bit nervous of. I don't know how they're going to go for Cookstown against Dale. Dale had a very good squad.
Very good, aye.
I think Davy Smith playing all that there, but their main threat at the time was Carruth. I think you were playing at the back most of the season, were you?
Aye, yeah, it would have been, yeah.
And then Carruth, he was playing right mid for Dale, and he was tearing it up. He was doing great. He had burst on the Irish scene. He was incredible. And Stevie Cuddy just team talk, right? You and your job, Mark Carruth, and that was that.
Aye, that was pretty much it. I just left to look after him.
Yeah.
He was quick too. You know, like he was rapid, and I wouldn't probably be known for my speed, which I'm glad he never realised that he was faster than me, because I'd have been in a world of trouble. But no, he was talented, but I sort of have been given jobs like that a few times, but like in that game, obviously it's a bigger stature game or whatever. But I mean, like Carruth was brilliant, but we as a team, like we were brilliant. Yeah, like in that game especially, we were all together, and I suppose having that the previous finals experience of getting absolutely smoked and outplayed and outclassed, and sure, Slim was injured in that game, and Stina would be injured, and bits and pieces didn't go our way, and things maybe weren't perfect, but like in that game, as you say, it was a bit of a because we played them probably a good few times that season, and I don't think we'd they've been close games, and then I remember actually it was the Spanish football El Clasico that night, and we were all down in whatever hotel we were staying in watching it after the Annandale game, before the Monkstown game, and I remember just sitting just with ice on my knees, because I was like, my body does not want to be doing this again tomorrow. But great weekend. That was, Monkstown was. I actually enjoyed the Monkstown game. Again, I had to mark Gareth Watkins, and who again, deadly player. However many caps he's got, and a real talent, and I think he's coaching maybe down there now. I think, and just a good guy. I'd known him through all my underage stuff. Didn't like him on the day because he tripped me up. So I
think we still have the video of you swearing on him.
I don't think I've ever had the red mist in my life, but there was definitely, I understood it then in that moment. And there's like usually every year or two sends me the photo of just me just abusing. And the thing was, like, I was only maybe a teacher then. Goodness, like 4 years, and it was televised. And so obviously I came in on the Monday into work, and I was, I wasn't maybe the freshest man in the world, and straight away, like walking to take a foreign class or whatever it was, and kids were just like, "Oh, Mr. Butler," because I just lost my mind. And then I remember, like, I stood up, and not only did I get knocked over, but I lost my mind, gave away a short corner, and then I had to go onto the line or whatever I was doing, and I was just like, "Oh, you absolute fool! Don't lose face, just go mental." And what was I thinking? So. Not my proudest moment, but good game, good weekend, and like, I think well deserved. Like, I think we at that stage we had.
I think that season with that senior cup run, I think we did deserve it. We did play some great hockey throughout the season.
Did I?
Pretty much. Am I right? You're the most successful Cookstown player, UNAB or what?
I think because I missed the what was that? The Ulster League or whatever. I think. Hughes, like, this is not me being belittling it or whatever, but I genuinely don't know. I know when I left, Hughes had told me that me and AB were both on 13 trophies or whatever, and obviously we didn't win the COVID Cup there last week, so I still can't beat AB on that. But no, I genuinely don't know. I couldn't tell you how many Premier Leagues I've won or how many Kirk Cups. It's just not. I think, like, it's just not, I wouldn't have it recorded, let's say.
But Senior Cup's definitely up there.
Senior Cup was good. I remember hearing, I can't remember who it was, Stevie Cuddy doing a video, and Timmy Smith, he said, like, what would you rather win, the new league or the Kirk or the Irish Senior Cup? And he was like, no, I'm a purist, I'm a hockey purist, I want to win the oldest cup competition. So it's good to have a wee initial somewhere on there.
I think there's definitely a comment from Timmy one time where we got beaten in a Kirk Cup final, was it?
And could happen.
Timmy pretty much, whoever beat us, Timmy's comment was pretty much, they can keep the Kirk Cup, we'll take the senior.
Aye,
and that was that. And he was right, we did take the senior, so
good.
that always sticks out in my head.
Yeah. He didn't have many pearls of wisdom, but when he came out with them, they were few and far between, but he had a couple of good ones.
Now, during that, you were part of the Irish 21s team. Now, am I right? Did you win the Europeans? Did you silver Europeans?
So under 18s we won, but like as a different gravy team there as well. You know that like the goalkeepers were really tidy. The back four, you know, Stephen Arbuthnot played until from Garvey played until whatever many years ago, and myself, Colin Holmes from he had a few clubs, but. Colin Holmes, a boy Colin Black from Dublin, like all really good players. And then the midfielders were at that stage Philly Maguire,
yes,
Ian Lurs, and Timmy Cockram. So it had, and then another guy, Andy Herbert from Cork. But like I had been in midfield, and Stephen Watt, he was the coach. Yeah, and he said, "No, look, I've got." Basically, I think he was like, "They're all better than you," essentially, and rightly so. And so I'll throw you in, and you can be basically the free, you know, the defender, the free defender, free centre back or whatever. And I'm not exaggerating here, and this is not a word of a lie. I had never once been. I'd never probably listened when Hexie and Alan Ferguson were teaching me, this is how you take the ball off another person. So I was a midfielder, that's not important. You know, who needs to know
Defenders
that?
Will do that.
I'm a flair player. So Swatty, Stephen Watt, like he just, like, I remember having hours of, like Timmy Cockram, hands like lightning. You know, Gareth Watkins, ridiculously good. Simon McGowan from Banbridge, and, like, just really good players, and it wasn't for me, it was obviously for them too. I was just one of the defenders, but I remember just like, I was like, how the hell did I get that wee white thing off of these boys? Like, I had no notion. And Swatty, he took me aside and he just told me, like, from the sort of stuff you would teach at, you know, the under 15s would be better defenders than I am. And like he basically sorted me out with how you take the ball off them. I think I made 2 tackles the whole tournament, the under 18 tournament. But one of them was this Dutch boy, and he was ridiculous. he was so good, and he came running down into the left hand side, and I was like, oh, this is good, he's on my strong side. Tick, Swatty be happy with that. I've got my feet at a 45. Tick, Swatty be happy with that. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Just threw my stick out, took the ball, lovely as you like, pass it off, Mark Robinson, away you go and do some magic. And then I just shouted. So that's pretty much when I decided I don't have to do much work if you can just shout it, boys. Like, so it was my under 18 team, like, and geez, what a bunch of talent that was. Like, it was class.
And did you win that, or?
We won the Europeans, so it was like gold. So we beat the Dutch, beat the Spanish, got smoked by the Germans, like 4-0 or something. Took a yellow card in that game, I think, that too. That was because of my bad tackling. I like just the way it worked, the crossovers and stuff, like it was class, like really good. Because the year before that, like the Spanish had beat us 11-1. Like they were unreal, and they whomped us. And then the first game of the next year, we beat them 1-0. And
who took you? Swatty took you?
Stephen Watt was the coach, and then so we had the assistant coach was a bit of a different one. So we had Lee Tumblety. Swatty actually told me this a good few years ago, but he said, you know, like we were doing the first trial, you know. So I played the year before and whatever for the under 18s, and this was my last year, and they were standing, you know, they were looking and, you know, talking about it and whatever, and he goes, what do you think of the boy there, me, you know? And he was like, not for me, needs to go. And so he said, he goes, really? He's going to be my captain? and then like obviously that didn't work out, so like rightly so again, Timmy Cockram, like great player, like Timmy was, he was the captain, I was the vice captain with Philly Maguire, and Lee Tumblety just didn't rate my game or whatever, just like because in the warm up, like I was probably thinking I've this sorted, and then at the same time I'm not that good, as you know yourself. I'm not that good in a drill. Like, you know, you put a few cones in front of me and I'm lost. So I was just, no, this is going to be horrendous. Like, you know, we're doing like, I can't even remember, Swatty's left to right drag or whatever. And I was terrible. And He told me that a few years later. Lee Dumblety was just like, he needs to go.
Imagine Tomley could have cut your whole career short. That could have been.
I know. That's the luck I needed. And Steve Mott was thankfully there to say, no, we'll keep him. Which, in fairness, I don't think he would regret too much.
Yeah.
But I know it was a good team, and then we won that under 18s, and then we went up. All of us went up to under 21s together.
Yeah.
And there was a Junior World Cup the year we were all under 21 in Rotterdam, where we'd won the under 18s. You see the stars aligning here. And then we played the under 21 tournament the year before to qualify for the World Cup the next year. We had 3-4 training sessions with everybody there. Yeah. This was to qualify for it was badly organised, badly run. Not through the. It was like Irish hockey made a few errors or whatever, and guys couldn't make it and whatever else. And so we played Scotland in the first game, and I was actually in the stands, so I can't really take the blame for that one. And then we played everybody else, and basically the way it worked out, we needed to play Scotland to come 6th or whatever it was, and qualify. Yeah. And we got beat again.
No way.
So I was in the stands for that one too, so I'm not taking the blame for that either. I will take the blame. We're playing Poland the last 30 seconds, 2-1 up. Poland to this boy, honestly, he was massive. He's the biggest man I've ever seen, and he was ridiculously good. And I was running out of the back with the ball, 30 seconds to go, counter attack. Mark Leghorn, handy enough player to have, just a simple pass to.
Just give him the ball.
Just give him the ball. I went to pass the ball, completely messed it up. They went in 30 seconds to go. Draw would have done us, and they went and won a short corner. You're all right. Yeah. Gareth Lennox on the line, or in the goal, me on the line. They went out and did that one. Was really annoying one. Out to as you look out from the goal, out to your left, brought in and put back into the boy. I was running two, completely got sold. They scored. Next game you're going up to the stand.
You're in the stands.
Fair enough. Probably the right decision again. I wouldn't have too many questions about their decision making process, but mine was rugby.
So. And then we'll fast forward a good few years. You packed up and you head off to Chile.
It was I packed up.
So decided. What were we heading out there for? What was?
So my wife, or my now wife, my then fiance, was living in England, and I was living here. Couldn't get a job there. I couldn't get a job there. She couldn't get a job here. So just decided we'll just go completely nuts. And
we'll get a job together. We don't care where it's at.
Pretty much. So went to Chile. I went to Chile, and I had basically said, right, that'll do me. I'll not be playing for Cookstown. I'll not be playing. I'll just retire and just coach. I was 34, 35, something like that. I'm not as enthusiastic maybe as you need to be.
Right.
So I went out there, and before we even got out there, Rachel, she had got one of the clubs that the school was connected to. They had contacted her, so she was going to play for them, and then I was going to coach or assistant coach the ones, and then there's women's hockey, so assistant coach the ones, and then coach the second team. So went out there, did that, and it's good, really good crack. Chile's a class country to live in and to be in and whatever, and the hockey standard, it's good. The women's hockey's really, really competitive, and not only is it really competitive, it's really like you live or die by your club. You leave your club, you're blacklisted. Even a club you probably go to, you're not too sure about her or him. So I went out there, and the commitment was amazing from a lot of the girls and a lot of the players, and then I went and watched the men's final, sort of the super final, I call it. Their season split up into two part seasons, so I went across and watched the super final, as they call it, and it was a good standard. So I thought, right, I'll maybe give this a rattle. So then I played. This team was called Manquehue, so it was really weird. The teams were Manquehue, which was German, Stade Francais, French, Prince of Wales Country Club, which was obviously English. Then there was all of them had their own little clubs, like here in the States, the country club. But they're all affiliated to a country or a whatever nationality. So I played for the German club, obviously.
Yeah, why not?
Makes total sense. So played for the German club in Kiwi, and really good bunch of guys, and sort of welcomed me and spoke enough English that we could sort of get on, and they took the mick out of my Spanish, as rightly so. And ended up winning then their league. The second half of their league, I played for them one of the seasons, and ended up winning the Chilean Super League or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was really good experience and whatever. But like, there's a lot of talented guys out there, who would be, you know, like, I think Chile could be a good team, but it's just one of those things where the Argentinians are right beside them. Yeah. You know, and then you're never going to qualify out of that, because Argentina will just smoke all around them. So it's tough that way, but some really good players, really good guys as well. Played with a couple of Belgian guys out there as well who are back now as well. So we get on to them, get them over.
And what was the difference between the style of hockey they play, the style of hockey here? Is it all just universal, or were they more attacking, more defensive?
More attacking.
Yeah, love to see that.
You would play the ball, you know, like you play the ball around the back. Bear in mind, this is the German club. The Germans invented ball around the back, didn't they? You know, so ball around the back, and it would go from the centre back to I was playing left back. Ball to the left back, straight up. Sometimes you don't even need to look. You just be like, maybe there, throw it up the line. I like the training, the intensity of the training. Like, you know, you'd have forfeits for losing the last game, but then they also had the social side a bit better, because like they had the pitch from, say, there's our clubhouse, you know, it was 20 metres away to the club, or the pitch, sorry. And so after training on a Thursday night, you would come in and have a bite to eat and a beer and whatever. And sure, you know yourself from Australia, it's just a different. Yeah,
the social side pretty much. That's what the class pretty much first before the hockey over there. It was just, as again, Thursday night. We had a bit of a stadium. You would just sit on the steps and have a few beers after training. First couple of games I played for that Australian side, I remember pretty much push back, right back away he went. Next time he crossed it, left back picks it up in the D, and I'm just losing my mind. I'm like, right and left back up, I'm just not used to this. The centre back here, the way he went. So pretty much our philosophy was we'll score more than them. I think the first game finished 7-5. I was losing my mind. I was like, boys, we're throwing it away.
Where's the midfield blocker?
Yeah.
No, it was the first game I played for that team was was against an Argentinian side, and they were tidy. You know, they were. I think they probably won that league or whatever. There was like a pre-season league or whatever. But like there was guys playing, and they were just lightning. You know, like. Me at my peak a few years earlier, I maybe could have coped, but me at that age, you know, a lot of pizza was out and a lot of beers had been drunk, and I was just like, I'm gonna struggle here. But no, I played, like, Chile was class for so many reasons, but like to get over there and to play in a different country,
it's an
like
experience
some of the days we were playing, like I know I look swarthy here, like, but geez, I am the whitest man in the world according to some people, and I was just cooking. Like, you know, I was medium to well come the second quarter, and I was like, get me off here. No subs. You know, no defensive subs. Who needs a defender? You're all right. Just jeez, it was tough going, but good crack, like really good crack.
And then obviously I do a good bit of research before we came on here.
Of course.
You played for Brazil against Chile. Is this right?
Played for Brazil against Chile. Played against the Chilean national team a good few times actually.
Right.
But only once for Brazil. Real random. So the coach of the team that I coached the first year, he was the assistant coach of the Brazil team.
Right. Okay.
So he would go over and do like his FAH coach. He knows Stephen Watt. Hence why it all sort of fell into place. They did their course together. And he said to me, like, we were friends, like we was socialising whatever together, and he said, like, could you come and play? And I said, of course, like, when are you going to turn, you know, not many opportunities you get to play for another national team. So I said, of course. So it wasn't a capped game, obviously. It was just a bit of, you know, them to do a bit of training, and they're there, like, intense, the Brazilians, like, they're training, like, up at 6, like their coach, get the boys up at 6, train, breakfast, train, gym. Like, it was just like the boys were, like, they were 19, 20, 21, 22, and essentially full-time athletes. And like some of them I think earned decent enough, not decent money, but like they were able to do that. And some of them were just like it sounds horrible. They were just like, this is better than what's the other option is, you know. So like some of them were really talented boys, and some of them were just guys who were just taking a bit of advantage, and I was one of the guys just taking advantage. But they gave me a shirt and all, so I still have the shirt.
That's
and
great.
It's pretty cool, like, and I would say I'm the least Brazilian man ever to play for Brazil in any sport, I would say, ever.
What we need now is all the Irish shirts up, and then Butler with a Brazil shirt. That'll do us.
Cheers.
Good chatting to you, and you keep battering on for the ones, keep getting those trophies.
That's it.